Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon for December 31st, 2017. We're your host, Peacebreaker2448, and Ramp Epsilon.
Hi.
Yeah, we're on earlier than I said last night. Oops.
Oh, you set a time last night?
I said we'd be on about 10, at 10, and we're before 10, but oh well.
Oh.
We'll probably spend like 20 minutes talking about essentially what we picked up for Christmas, at least for me, because most of what I picked up for Christmas is what I've been playing the last couple weeks. Literally. Oh boy. But yes, it's our final show of the year because it's the final day of the year. And it will probably be 2018 before we end the show. At least for me. Maybe. But we got a short list of articles and a little end of year review. Before we get into that, tell me, what have you been playing? Indoor got for Christmas, because might as well.
Well, I've now got me a wired controller for my Switch.
Yay!
Let's see, that and my brothers and sisters wound up getting a Xbox One, so needless to say, I've been playing some on it. I want to point out something. They got the one that had the Master Chief Collection and Halo 5 with it. Master Chief Collection, I don't feel like is as broke as everyone was sounding. I don't know if maybe they fixed it enough.
Well, it's been how long since the collection came out?
Right, that's why I'm kind of like, I don't know if they've just fixed it.
I think they fixed
or if it
up.
actually just wasn't as broke as everyone was saying, and it was actually just the games.
I think it was broke worse than it's been right now. I'm willing to bet.
I don't know. Because it almost, to me anyhow, it kind of felt just like playing the original games. It didn't feel like anything was out of place.
Yeah, I don't think that was the problem. I think the problem was the multiplayer, wasn't it?
I can't remember if it was or not, but I really didn't fool with the online part. So, if it was, that might be where the problems come in, but personally, I kind of feel like if it was the online multiplayer, guess what? Most shooters have problems with the online multiplayer. Halo 5 on the other side. Played the first two missions. Don't really care for the control schemes.
Oh.
Like, that's what's kind of killing it right now for me. It's one of those, the whole being able to have thrusters at will and utilizing said thrusters into parts of the mechanic for the levels is kind of like,
Yeah. Well, you haven't got to fight the Warden Eternal yet, right?
No.
Okay, good. I hope you enjoyed that boss fight the first time you fight him, because you got to fight him 6 more times.
It's one of those that I know at some point I will pick it up and finish it. Because I've heard nothing but bad out of the game, and I kind of want to be able to firmly stand on my own 2 feet with, yes, the game is bad. I don't want to be like, well, yeah, I don't like the controls, so I'm not going to finish it. That's definitely not going to happen.
Yeah.
But the controls are really a big knock for me right there.
Yeah.
Because it's like, no. Not to mention, a lot of the controls, too, kind of are reminding me of the Infinite Warfare multiplayer that I played a while back, and it's like, ooh.
Yeah. Like, I've heard the multiplayer is the good part, because we bounced back from 4 on that. But the story took the nosedive because the Spartan Ops team got in charge of the single player on that one. So the writing quality of Spartan Ops got transferred into the writing quality of Halo 5. Which is also why we got no Spartan Ops in Halo 5.
Well, I'm gonna say this too. Knowing that ahead of time, I still kind of left an open mind to it.
Mm-hmm.
But even some of the cutscenes within them first 2 levels is like, I don't know if they would actually jump to this big of conclusions. And I don't count this as spoilers, but literally within them first 2 missions is when Chief is like, screw going back to the Infinity, we're going for Cortana.
Yeah.
And that kind of is the catalyst for everything. Well, we immediately go from that cutscene where he says, screw this, we're going for Cortana, to Lasky wanting his head on a silver platter. And it's one of those, it's like, whoa, wait a minute. Did we have a time lapse here? Because in Halo 4, Lasky knows that Chief is a hothead and is going to go do whatever the heck he wants. That's not a reason to immediately be like, get him back here and send him to the brig. I mean, it's one of those, it's like, whoa, wait a minute, come on here, game. Give us something to at least justify this.
Oh. Also, is this your first introduction to Blue Team?
Think altogether, because I don't think I actually finished any of the books. One of those that...
How do you feel about Blue Team?
I feel like they have actually done a piss poor introduction for both teams. Just no joke there.
Well, it doesn't help that like everyone but Chief or Buck is from ancillary material. Everyone is.
It's one of those. It's like, in all seriousness, if I didn't know at least a little bit, I'd be like, okay, who are these other people?
Who are these other people that seem very buddy-buddy with Chief?
And really, the same can be said about Osiris. It's like, without knowing anything of any other material, it'd be like, okay, who's these other people? Why are they so important?
Because for those that don't know, Blue Team are from the novels. The rest of Blue Team, Linda, Kelly, and Frank, right?
I don't think that's right.
Okay.
I can't remember his name though, but it does start with an F. Hold on, Google in time.
Frederick.
Yeah.
Frederick.
Yeah, that's why I was like, that didn't sound right.
Kelly, Linda, and Frederick are from the novels. They're the team Chief essentially, like, they're part of Chief's pretty much training team from when they started in the Spartan 2 program. And they've always been together, except for the games, when Chief's alone, because Blue Team is elsewhere. But they're longtime friends because they were Spartan 2 mates. But I'm sure the game doesn't tell you that.
Nope. It pretty much, the way the game introduces it is, it starts you out with Osiris, which it does kind of do a decent understanding. Yeah, this is a team, they've worked together, yada yada yada, basic stuff like that. But when we transition to Blue Team, it's pretty much oh, here's Chief. Oh, look, there's 3 more Spartans with Chief now. Have fun. It's like, what? Wait, stop, game, come back. Stop. I mean, it's one of those you can pick up from dialogue that they've known each other for a while, but you don't even know how long.
Yeah.
For all we know, these could be Spartans that Chief buddied up with right at the end of Halo 4.
When that's totally not the case. Granted, he did, because that's covered in Halo Escalation, but...
But, I mean, he knew him beforehand.
Yeah.
It wasn't a case of that he just met him and said, oh, hey, you want to start a team? Cool, let's do it.
Also, how do you feel about Halo Escalation covering the sweeping under the rug of the Didac so Cortana can be the main villain of the series now?
You know, that would be another thing to include in the game. Even a reference to it.
But yeah, that's Blue Team. For Osiris, Locke is from a live action movie. I forget which one it is. It's the most recent one.
Nightfall, wasn't it?
Yes, Nightfall. He's from Nightfall. So if you didn't watch that, you have no idea who the fuck Locke is. Tanaka is from Escalation, an arc of Escalation, so I forget what issue numbers it is, but I know because I watched Halo Cannon's videos on Halo Escalation, so I knew who Tanaka was. Vale is from Hunters in the Dark, which is another novel. So if you didn't read Hunters in the Dark, you have no idea who Vale is, or the fact that she's been to the Ark in order to stop the Halo rings from firing again.
Yeah, but, Vale's not important. Chief is the only one that has ever went to the Ark, according to the games.
Yeah, Vale, the two elites, the two multiplayer elites from Halo 3, those guys, they went to the Ark with her. It was like a human elite, coalition squad that went to the Ark to make sure the rings didn't fire, because I think the Guilty Spark-esque AI, almost fired them. Yeah, they went. Yeah, they went and stopped that shit. Hell, the Arbiter was there, I think. Or the Arbiter sent them. Because he's in the book. I don't remember. It's been a while since I read Hunters in the Dark. But yeah, in Buck, yes, you know him from ODST, but you're probably like, why the fuck is he a Spartan? Well, if you didn't read Halo New Blood, you have no idea why he joined the Spartan team. Or what the fuck happened to his ODST team. By the way, half of them are dead.
Which, I feel like with him, they probably did the best.
Mm-hmm.
Because he does make a comment about there wasn't all of the gray area BS when he was an ODST, and it's like, okay, at least you could track where his reference comes from.
Yeah.
You could follow his character story. Even if you knew nothing about the books or anything, you could kind of figure out, at least loosely, what happened between his start and now. The rest of them, it's like, unless you know, you're just firing in the dark trying to think of who they are.
Yeah.
And I'll be completely honest, having the team set up, it feels like it's a smart idea because they can make the games more challenging.
Mm-hmm.
The issue with that is you can pick your teammates back up, I'm wanting to say 3 times before you essentially get to black and white.
So payday rules?
Pretty much. It's like, why? What's really the point in that? The checkpoint system that had been in every game so far was working just fine. Why did we want to go and change this?
Yeah.
Because let's also add in the fact of, when you're playing by yourself, that means relying on AI. Guess what is rock dead stupid? And will stand there and get shot at and while they're trying to help you. Does absolutely no good if they go down right beside you trying to get you up.
Mm-hmm.
No good whatsoever. That was a bad call, in my opinion. I know why they did it, but didn't know.
Oh yeah, I forgot. There's also Hunt the Truth, which has nothing to do with Halo 5 in its entirety, to be honest. Everything that's a part of Hunt the Truth, fuck all that nonsense. That doesn't matter. And they have Last Light, but it's like, well, if you have that plus Fall of Reach, you're essentially doing the same thing, which you're introducing Blue Team, because they're the stars of both of those books. It's just one is minus Chief, and that's Last Light. because it's a more recent story.
Ah.
Yeah, I think that's like pre-4 timeline wise is Last Light. I think I forgot what year it takes place in, but it's like pre-4. I want to say.
And that's kind of what kills me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 343 had Reach to pick up from. Okay, they had a team-based game. They were essentially was their point of getting their hands on it. If they wanted to introduce all of these other characters and set up for the teams, why didn't they go into that before they did Halo 4? Or, for that matter, do Halo 4, but then set up games where you're building these teams.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm going to tell you something. Most people playing the games aren't going to realize that there is other material.
Yeah.
They might have known about the books. That doesn't mean they're going to read them.
Yeah. To quote SF Debris, if you didn't put it in the game, it doesn't count.
Right.
No one should have to do homework to play your game or watch your movie or follow your TV series.
I mean, Nightfall, okay. I could let them use that because at least Master Chief Collection did put a lot of emphasis on that. So it's like, okay, that's going to be something important going forward.
Mm-hmm.
So I could get that. So we could write Locke off at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But we still have 6 other characters that could have had games either individually built around them, or even if you just wanted to pick up at a certain point and have them have flashbacks of various things that happen to kind of help tie everything together. I honestly feel like they've made the biggest misstep there, because really, especially the way Halo 5's set up, those first 2 missions should have gave us enough backstory on the teams, how they came to be, what their goals are actually being there. Because, yeah, you can say, oh, well, both teams are just doing their duty. Blue team, it being getting Chief to Cortana to give him closure, and Osiris being they've got orders to capture blue team. Yeah, you've got that. But there's more to it than just the surface.
Also, in a game that is so much about Chief dealing with the fact that one of his best friends, who he thought is dead, is alive, but is a bad guy now because of stupid bullshit reasons. Osiris gets 12 of the 15 playable missions in this game. You only play as Chief on Blue Team in 3 levels. 3!
Wow.
Because I counted here. And based off what it says, Osiris you play as through 12 missions, 12 levels as Osiris. 3 is Blue Team. Halo 2 did not make this mistake. It was balanced. Yeah, Arbiter got them in the game, but it was balanced.
Well, and okay. That was another prime example. Halo 2, yes, you had 2 different perspectives. What did both wind up doing? They didn't have to build a backstory for Chief. No, you had a whole game for that one.
Yeah.
They worked on building the backstory for Arbiter and keeping Chief's mission going forward.
Yeah. Hell, they establish who Arbiter is within the first 5 minutes of the game, and even parallel him with Chief. 5 minutes of the game. first 5 minutes, you know who Arbiter is, why he's in the position he is in, and what's his goal. In 5 minutes.
That's what's aggravating me so much about just what I've played of Halo 5.
Mm-hmm.
It's like their storytelling is just retarded.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's not putting down on anyone. That's just what it is. It's like it has no idea where it's going.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't get that. They've had games they can reference. They've had information that they can see worked right. I mean, hey, and it's not a case of they couldn't take multiple characters and do it. Because Bungie clearly made that be known with Reach, with ODST.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they just didn't take the time to do it. And what's worse about it is, wasn't Halo 5 actually on a 3-year development cycle instead of the 2-year that we were originally told?
I think so.
So they took more time and gave us less to show for it?
Mm-hmm.
That's really kind of making me think maybe they don't need to do Halo 6. Maybe they need to just walk away, let that die. Because they're clearly not doing it right.
In the series on this massive cliffhanger.
At this point, it would probably be better.
Also, I got reminded of, oh yeah, that teaser video we got for Halo 5 has nothing to do with the story. Nothing to do with the story.
I don't even think it had anything to do with the game, really, did it?
To paraphrase what that teaser was, Chief walks around in a desert in the big cloak over his armor with Cortana's chip on a necklace, and a guardian rises out of the sand in front of him. The only thing in that sentence that even remotely connects to Halo 5 is Guardian rises, and not even from sand. It's just from where the fuck ever.
And Chief.
Yes. I didn't say that because he's never in a cloak, he's never has Cortana's chip on a necklace, and he's never alone. So the entire context of Chief's involvement in this teaser does not exist in the game.
Yeah.
Which makes me go, what the fuck is the point of the teaser? Because nothing you did in the teaser translates to the game. None of it.
I almost wonder what happened? I almost wonder if that was supposed to be something from Halo 5, and then what happened was someone had the brilliant idea of, hey, we've got that Nightfall series, let's use that character in something. Can't we do something like Halo 2 did, with the multiple people, and then some other brainiac decided to be like, oh yeah, but we could do it like Reach, that way it's different too.
And what would have been better is if they stuck to the original plan for Osiris and Buck wasn't on the team.
What would have been better is if they had let this be a Chief mission where he's going to try to retrieve Cortana and figure out what the heck is going on.
Yeah, because I believe the original idea for Osiris is, instead of Buck, it was one of the people from Spartan Ops. I don't remember who, but it was one of them, but they swapped it out to Buck. Which meant that we've been one more person we don't know anything about in this game, considering the writing of it. Fantastic!
The reason I said what I did is because, let's see here. What did I just mention earlier that happened in Halo 4? Oh yeah, Chief went off to do his own thing and Lasky led him. He didn't send a whole squad to go capture Chief. No, he let him do it because he knew Chief was going to get it done. Why can't we just let that happen again? Have the Infinity be on backup for him and go forward.
Yeah, because why would you not want to recover Cortana? Because, it's not like she has dozens and dozens of UNSC intel and secrets stuck in her head.
And that's the other thing that kills me too. Now that you mentioned that, the one line that I did hear come out of Halsey's mouth that I was like, why? Explain. The fact that Chief doesn't need to meet Cortana. Why?
Wait, why do you say this? You're the one who gave it to him and gave her to him in the first place.
The only thing I could think is it was supposed to be meant like in her current state. He doesn't need to see her.
But you don't know that!
Because it might send him over the edge kind of deal. That's what I'm hoping they were meaning by that. But at the same time, I'm like, explain.
How the fuck does she know that?
You word that so vaguely. Why does he not need to be near her?
Yeah, here's my question. How the fuck does she know anything about Cortana?
How does she know anything that would happen with Chief being anywhere near Cortana? Let's go a step further. She clearly had all of this extra knowledge when she handed Cortana to Noble Six to take to the Pillar of Autumn. That Chief was on for God knows how long.
Oh my god.
It's one of those, it's like, what the frick is with this writing team and not understanding how to explain?
Yeah.
And that's one of those that it's like, yes, I will finish it. But oh dear God, within the first 2 missions, I have noticed so freaking much that they're just like, okay, here's information. Bye. It's like, no, come back here, explain why you decided to say that.
Yeah, and it's only going to get worse because you're going to be like, oh wait, Cortana had her rampancy cured? Fuck? What?
I call bull. I really still do.
Rampancy doesn't work that way. It can't be cured.
I still call kind of bull, and I also kind of am curious if how they're wanting to play this out is, and I think we mentioned this before, but is like the red versus blue approach to it. Since she did fragment herself, we know based off of what red versus blue set up anyhow, fragments actually can't get rampancy. So that would be possible, but at the same time, that would still only be a fragment of her.
Yeah. But like, rampancy is an AI essentially thinking itself to death because it can't process enough all the information it gathers over time.
Yep.
How do you cure that? Because it's not make their database bigger, because if that was the case, they would have fucking done that already.
I know, giant magnet.
And I refuse to believe that Cortana is, like, cured of her rampancy because she still acts like a rampant asshole. She's rampant. She's still rampant. She's not dying.
Hey, I need to be on the writing team for Halo 6. Because I just figured it out. That can be the answer. Giant magnet. There was a giant magnet somewhere in that whole mess of structure that the Didact had. When she fragmented and passed through it, it just fixed it. Problem solved.
But yeah, that's the only reason
Makes
all these
about
other
as much
AIs
sense
are just
as
like,
the rest of this so far.
Yeah, that's the only reason a bunch of other AIs are joining up with her. Because, yay, my untimely death can be cured, except not, because she's lying to you. She's very obviously lying to you because this sounds stupid. This is stupid. And why? Why join up with her? Why lead this revolution against humanity when AIs were never treated that bad in the Halo franchise, as far as I know? Like, am I wrong?
I don't think you are, but at the same time, I also want to mention something. Aren't most of the AIs actually patterned after Cortana?
No, most AIs are patterned. Some AIs are patterned after actual people, like Cortana's patterned after Halsey.
Right, using Forerunner technology.
Right, but not all AIs come from Cortana. Other AIs come from other places. Stuff. I don't think there's anyone connected to Cortana. It's just a method that made hers probably was used for some other ones, but like
That's what I'm wondering.
still,
If it's Forerunner technology, then they're all patterned the same way. So it could necessarily, it might necessarily be a case of sticking together rather than actually believing her.
Why?
That's a good question. Why make that a thing when they've proven countless times that the AI can think for themselves?
Like, why join up with her? Why go against people who have treated you nicely? Probably, depending on the AI. Like, why?
And you know what's bad? Knowing that part of it, you kind of it's kind of one of those that I feel like that should be a shock point of it. But at the same time, even at the beginning of Halo 5, Roland kind of acts different. Like you can tell something's going on. I mean, yeah, he would get a little bent in Halo 4, but yeah, just a little bit that that he was in within those first two missions. It's like, yeah, something ain't right. They're purposely writing him that way to where it comes as a shock, but it doesn't at the same time. And it's like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, but like when I'm thinking of like the other AIs that have cropped up in the Halo games, there's I can't remember her name, but the one for the Spirit of Fire, and she was a well-respected member of the crew, and she was honored when she essentially died while the crew was in cryo sleep on their way back home. Like she spent her final days making sure the ship stayed running and made sure everyone was still alive. And she was honored by them before they had to deal with the Banished trying to take over the Ark. The new AI they picked up, they respected, even though they were like, wait, why are you making the calls here? But it's like, yep, she has the right idea, so. Like, there's never been a bad AI in this franchise till now. So why now? Are we tired of fighting aliens?
What I'm kind of curious is if Cortana actually is Cortana. Because we do know from Halo 4 that both Chief and Cortana both got separated for a little while there. And both talked to the librarian. So that means there's someone else that knows a different side of both stories. And that makes you wonder.
Yeah, if this Cortana is actually Cortana and not a fragment of Cortana, they can kiss my ass, because that just takes away so much from Halo 4's story.
Yeah.
Because not only do you bring her back, you bring her back to be a main villain when you ejected the Didac, who could easily take her place in this story and not miss a fucking beat.
The only other logical answer that I could think that maybe they're wanting to try to pull, but at this point, I don't know if it would be a smart kind of swap or not, would be if they took and basically said, okay, that was the Didact acting like Cortana, because he did capture a fragment of her before whatever they say happened to him kind of deal.
He went through the same process that makes the Forerunners. I forget the name of it, but that process, he's went through that process. And apparently, according to Halo Escalation, he might be super dead. Might be super dead.
See my point exactly. They're leaving that might in there.
Right, but why is he not the villain in Guardians? Why?
Because it would make more sense to kind of mentally cripple Chief, the only person that ever could stop him.
Then why isn't there a hint to the Didact and all instead of we just kill the
Exactly.
Didact's hand in like literally in Osiris's first mission?
Yeah.
Because I feel like for all intents and purposes, we have ejected the Didact as our main villain for this saga, which again, it's supposed to be a fucking saga. Oh boy.
But this was supposed to also be the Forerunner saga.
But we've
Remember,
ejected...
that's how they worded that.
I know, but we've ejected our Forerunner.
Not all of them. The Librarian.
Yeah, the Librarian still exists, but we've ejected our Forerunner villain unless they're going to turn to the Librarian, which super doesn't make any sense.
I wouldn't be surprised if all of them weren't villains.
Okay.
Well, you think about it. If they all were, but the Didact was the worst and the hardest for even them to control, why not send this warrior to go try to stop him? If he dies, good for them. If he lives, good for them also, because the Didact's gone.
Okay.
Bad logic. Video game villain logic. Just gonna point that part out.
That just overcomplicates this. I'm just like, oh, okay, now all the forward. Why?
My thing is, why did we make the end of 4 look like the Didact was still gonna come back and do something?
And then kill him off in the spin-off comic.
And not really make any reference to that at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, especially when Blue Team were the one who did it.
It's like, might have
Yeah,
messed
I'm not
up there,
saying that.
huh?
Yeah, I'm not saying that because like fucking nobody's from Escalation did it. No, Chief and Blue Team did it after he killed Black Team.
I feel like there's supposed to be a joke there.
Well, Black Team were essentially a Spec Ops group of Spartans, and yeah, they're dead in the canon now because the Didact killed them. So yay, a fan favorite team is dead, just to make our villain look better. Does no one understand the concept of jobbers? Like,
Nah, jobbers are for villains.
like I maybe like, is this a thing that only wrestling fans understand? It's like, okay, how do you build up a bad guy? You feed him people that it's okay to kill. You don't feed him people you don't want dead.
But that's also how you build a hero.
Exactly.
And I mean, we can't do that at the same time.
That's what minions are for.
Yeah, but the good guys don't have minions.
Okay, they have sidekicks.
You see where I'm going with this.
I know.
I'm telling you how 343 is thinking here.
Yeah.
It's like we've only got good guys. We don't have blowers because, you know, we try to make everyone that we ride in a good guy.
You have a ship and a program full of brand spanking new Spartans. They're Spartan 4s, but they're Spartan.
The same thing that we saw all through Spartan Ops, which might I also add, did have a few Spartans die. Why can't we just come up with fill-in-the-blank names and say, you, go after him. Oh, you died. Okay. You go after him. Oh, okay, you died too. Chief, you ready? Not yet? Okay, another one.
Like, you have literal teams of Spartan 4s whose jobs would be probably the same thing Black Team did. Just send one out there in place of them So they are the ones that get killed because they're no one. That's the point.
No, because you see, then you got to come up with names, and you got to design armors, and I mean, all of this stuff doesn't just have randomizers sitting around or anything. Oh wait, hold on, what's this I'm hearing? Oh, they do all have randomizers sitting around. Well, then why not do that?
I was about to say, if you have people who play Halo 4 in the office when you're writing this comic, literally go to them and go, hey, what's your Spartan look like? That? Okay, let me get a sketch real quick. That one, just literally just grab people's online avatars and just be like, these are the Spartans that went after them, and just give them random names and numbers. Because they're disposable. That's the point. It's okay if your villain kills disposable people. He still killed people. That's the point. Just because he didn't kill a named person doesn't mean that action is any less severe.
And I mean, if you just wanted to go a step further, give them a short little backstory. They had a wife and kids at home, wife and 2 kids at home. They died. There, people are gonna feel sympathy. Congratulations.
Like, I understand trying to shock the audience, but there's a difference between shocking the audience and fucking yourself over in the long run. If you kill characters that you can still tell stories with, you're fucking yourself in the long run because you just got rid of those characters. Do not get rid of characters you can write stories for. Never do that. Never.
And do not add important characters that you can't write stories for.
Right.
I think Halo 5 needs to take a page out of that second part there.
Yep. Anyway, anything else? Since we've talked about Halo 5 for, I think, 20 plus minutes.
Not really. That's kind of been the bulk of what I've been playing.
Oh.
It's like, yeah.
Well, for Christmas for myself, I've got the Hardboiler, the Machine Machigler, and the Trideron from my shelf. So I have one full shelf of bikes in a car, which this car is fucking huge. I think it's as long as the Switch with the Joy-Cons on.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of long there.
Well, it has to fit a 6-inch figure inside because that's how large figure arts are. So imagine a car that will fit a 6-inch figure inside. 2, actually, since it's a 2-seater.
Ease.
Yeah. It's a hefty hunk of plastic.
Also, I just realized I forgot something.
What?
We played Splatoon 2.
Yes, we did. I was going to bring that up.
I was just sitting here thinking, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that. Whoops.
But other than that, I have new lights for my cabinet that I have to install with actual hardware. But I have 2 rows that give me, what was it? They're 16.4 feet. So I've got like 30 plus feet of lights now for my cabinet. I think that's too much. Even if I do a line for the top of the shelf, since I have my Final Form figures on the top of the shelf, that's still too much.
Well, better to have too much than not enough, though.
Yeah, that's the problem I ran into before with the other lights. But I have to sit down and do that. And I also got to drill new holes for them because they have a big-ass plug in order to connect the 2 lines, and that's larger than the holes that are drilled in there now for the old lights. It's pretty much like an outlet plug I have to drill a hole for.
Well then.
Yep. But the big thing is, I got a Switch now. And I don't like that it kind of floats in the dock. And
you get used to it.
Yeah. and that the straight turn off option is hidden. You have to actually get up and hold the power button on it in order for it to pop up.
No, you don't have to. Press and hold the home button.
I don't think I can pull up power options with that one.
Should be able to.
I didn't think I could. I might be wrong. I'll check later. But with that,
at least got the. Thought it did have all of it there.
I was about to say, it's only got sleep mode and airplane mode on there. Yeah.
I guess not then. I've hit it before without hitting the power button for some reason, though. I don't know what I did, though.
But yeah, for Christmas, I got 1, 2, 5, 6 games. Is that all of them? I think am I missing one? No, I'm not. Okay. 6 games. Plus, after Christmas, I picked up Xenoblade Chronicles 2 for myself. And my mom got me Sonic Mania. So, I have 8 games.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, 8 games for my Switch already. But first up, Odyssey. I was playing a little bit before we were starting the stream. Really enjoyed it so far. I'm already at Metro, which I'm like, damn, this game's going by real quick.
But are you 100% in everything?
No.
Well,
I'm kind of just like grabbing the necessary moons, and if I catch another couple moons along the way, fine. But I'm just kind of casually going through this, and it's like, wow, this game moves quick on a casual level. Because I know, like, after I get through the moon, there's like so much more available to me. Like, beating the moon is only like halfway of what you can do in this game, even before you would talk about 100% completion. Because I think like Dark and Darker Side are the bigger goals past that. Because you didn't even you don't even have access to all the moons of a world until you beat the moon. Really. I got a new appreciation for people who speedrun this game, because that dive onto the hat to get that extra jump is harder than it looks. There's some tight-ass timing on that one, because to do that, you have to hit ZL and Y at the same time while falling. You get that frame perfect, you'll do it. If you don't, you're ground pounding. And then you have to hit the buttons again in order to not lose height and still do the move. Tight-ass window there, but I'm enjoying it. Fire Emblem Warriors. I probably put way too much time out of everything so far. I've beaten the story. I haven't gotten all the mementos in the story mode, the main story mode. It is a step down from Hyrule Warriors, story-wise.
That sucks.
Mostly because Awakening and Fates play a little too close to their respective stories. Whereas Marth and crew, they literally come into the game to rescue your butt, like, in the last few levels, and then they kind of just stick around. You don't really get to explore any part of their story. And also, there are no bad guys in this game, really, from those games, outside of a bad dark mage from each of their respective games, and that is the short and long of your bad guy list. Besides the main bad guy of the game, who's just a big-ass dragon. Like, oh my god. The problem with Warriors is it doesn't tap into its whole franchise. It really doesn't. It just taps into Awakening and Fates mostly, and like Marth, Tiki, and Sita are kind of feel like an afterthought in the story mode. And once you've got everyone unlocked and beat the story mode, well, it's now time to unlock all those mementos and go through all the history mode maps, and I guess get all the badges. So I might knock out all the mementos and all the history mode maps, but I don't think I'm going farther than that. Breath of the Wild, probably the one game I've played the least of so far, mostly because I've been playing way too much of everything else. I really enjoyed Breath of the Wild, and I'm amazed how easy it is to get lost in this game in a good way. Granted, if you watched me stream this the other day, you saw me absolutely confused about how to fucking get to someone when I had a marker telling me where to go. Like, I was absolutely confused because I was also trying to use the auto running on the roads, and that was getting me nowhere real fast. I also found out that for the amiibo stuff, you just have to turn it on.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought you had to get a rune for it at some point somewhere in the game. I didn't know you just had to flip a switch in the options menu. That would have been nice to know. But otherwise, I've enjoyed it. Honestly, the weapon degradation doesn't feel as bad as some people say it is.
I didn't have a problem with it.
I know, but like a lot of other people on the internet said it is, and I'm like, not really. Like, yeah, I'll run dry on a weapon, but it's not like if I run dry on a weapon, I won't have another weapon to pick up immediately. It may not be as good, but it's another weapon in a slot. And it's not like I have like 5 other weapons on me when that one blows up.
And
I think the problem
you
is,
can immediately pull out another one without even getting hit a lot of times.
yeah. And I'm also finding that I'm using my bow and arrow a lot more than my sword
Yes.
and shield.
You will.
And I'm also finding I kind of like stealthing the game a little bit.
I've noticed that too. Like, there's a lot of times where I would rather prefer sneaking around an enemy rather than trying to just go guns blazing through there, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
Not that you have guns, that's just so to say on that one. And it's like, yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Splatoon 2?
I do want to ask though, have you tried deflecting a guardian shot?
I tried and it didn't work.
I figured as much. That is a lot trickier than it should be.
I know. I'm like, the timing on this is really tight. I know it is.
I have gotten to the point where I pretty much consistently will screw that up. Because I will think I've got the timing down. I'll have the distance a little bit different than what I'm thinking it should be. And I'll swing early and die. It's like,
But I'm up to dropping by the Zora village to start the quest line to get that divine beast. It's where I left off on the stream.
You're doing Zora first?
Yes, because it was the nearest one to my location.
I did the exact same.
So I got to meet Meme Boy. Apparently, I think everyone ships him with Link, I guess, is the meme or something. I don't know. All I know is there was a whole bunch of pictures of Mr. Manly Fish over here. I don't see why yet, but meh.
Oh, you will.
I'm sure I will.
Oh, you will. I have to say, he is probably the most liveliest of a lot of the characters, and it is ridiculously funny how big of a difference you see. The big thing will be, which one will you go to next? Because I still remember my order, and looking back, I kind of actually regret going the way I did. And I kind of wish I had done a different direction.
Which route did you go?
I actually, and a lot of it boiled down to I didn't get the proper stuff from the plateau, and I kind of did it the hard way. Yeah, needless to say, early game, I was having more fun exploring. Didn't really care for the linear path they tried to give you. it's like, oh. Afterwards, I was like, oh, well, if I'd done something different, I probably could have done these in a different order.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, I still probably would have kept the Zora domain one first. It feels like that one's the easiest of all of them, and it is a good starting point.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I feel like both the Rito and the Goron ones were easier than doing the desert stuff. Like I just feel like those were more handed to you on a platter than the
Mm-hmm.
desert. And that's kind of I don't know if it was just me overlooking things or if that actually was the case.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I did find out that they purposely pulled assets for the Master Bike Zero from Mario Kart.
Doesn't surprise me. I
Yeah.
still actually need to finish all of that stuff.
I have the Breath of the Wild, the Fire Emblem Warriors, and the Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Yes, I'll get to that in a second. Season passes, expansion passes, whatever you want to call it. Wishlist on the eShop for later purchase at some point. But right now, I'm not buying that stuff because I know at least the Breath of the Wild stuff is all late game stuff. So it benefits me none to get it now.
I know you get the Switch shirt if you had it already.
Uh-huh.
I'm wanting to say though I actually had the game. Maybe I did have it beat by the time first pack came out. I can't remember if I did or not. If
Mm.
not, the first pack, some of the armors in it you might be able to get before finishing everything.
Right. But like the first pack is mainly the Master Trials, which you can't get to unless you get the Master Sword, which I
Right.
am nowhere near getting right now.
Which I think I had purposely forced myself to get that one before going after Ganon, but honestly, that was kind of more of a padding between finishing the Divine Beasts and going for Ganon.
Yeah.
Because and I am going to mention this, you can easily wind up blowing through all four Divine Beasts and being ready to go for Ganon long before you get all the stuff to get the Master Sword.
Yeah, because what is it? You need like 20 hearts to get it? You need so many hearts in order to
13.
pull the 13, yeah. You need so many hearts to pull the sword.
Yeah.
That's the requirement. And then you have to make it through the woods to start with, which it's a maze. I'm sure I
Now,
could bumble my way through it.
it's actually easy if you've got a torch. The
Mm-hmm.
wind will actually blow the flame in the direction you need to go. Like, no joke.
Mm-hmm.
It's not complicated at all. After doing it a couple of times in a row, I think the third time I went through it, I was doing it without the torch even. Because it's not a. If they'd made it a random path each time, it probably would have changed that up a little bit. But since it's not, it's like, okay, just memorize. You go here, you walk to that tree, you turn, you go the other way, and there you go.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and the Breath of the Wild I picked up was that Explorers Edition. It's not really worth it. Even though I think it's the exact same price. Because the booklet you get is essentially a starter manual. Although I do like the image in the front cover. That's original Incarnation Link handing the Master Sword to Breath of the Wild Link.
Ah, I bet that is cool.
Yeah, it looks really nice. But otherwise, all the inside content is just a whole bunch of, hey, here's a bunch of starter stuff and stuff on the controls and a little stuff on the champions. I don't think there's any like extra lore in here. I think if you want extra lore for Breath of the Wild, you pick up the Masterworks. You get a map, which the one side of the map is just a big map of Hyrule. The other side of the map is a map of the Great Plateau and actually points where the towers, where some cooking locations are, and chests and groups of enemies. So it's like, hey, here's some quick little starter information for you for the Great Plateau. and like that's it. That's all it comes with. Of course, that's my second copy of Breath of the Wild, because the first copy my mom got is the original edition of the game that apparently she lost somewhere and just recently found. Welcome to how Christmas happens for me. This happens a lot.
So you've got 2 copies of Breath of the Wild.
Yep. Which
It's
means
a shame
we
that
take
the Switch actually stores all the save data on the console, though, and not the cartridge.
Oh, I was wondering if it saved it on the cartridge as
Nope.
like 3DS. Oh, okay.
Nope. All on the console.
Aw. So yeah, when we take that back to Best Buy to exchange it or get the money back or whatever Best Buy's policy is, I don't know. I guess I might as well pick up ARMS because I don't know what else to pick up. Switch wise. Because, like, what else am I going to pick up on the Switch that I don't already own?
It's kind of what I'm sitting here thinking. It's like, huh.
Like,
I mean,
this is the
only other option would be switch it for a pre-order on, like, something coming out next year. If
But
they
we don't.
or would even be up for anything like that.
But there's almost nothing we know that's coming out next year, except what was it? Amazon has 18 listings for Switch games that are to be announced at a show.
Yeah, and I'm wondering how many of them are Nintendo.
I don't know.
Because we know there's a Kirby game, we know there's a Yoshi game.
Mm-hmm.
We know Metroid Prime is somewhere in the works.
Right, but I think those have their own listings on Amazon.
Do they? I
I'm
didn't
willing
think
to
they
bet.
did.
Let me look.
I do think, though, we'll know with the next Direct.
Oh yeah,
And
it's supposed. It should be next month, according to EA.
I was going to say it should be pretty close.
Yeah, Metroid Prime 4, Yoshi, and Kirby all have their own things.
Huh. Smash for Switch confirmed? Question mark.
Anything confirmed? Question mark? Because it's 18 listings.
You wouldn't think that they would try to do the GameCube stuff through cartridges, would you?
I don't know.
Like the GameCube Virtual Console stuff, maybe having cartridge releases also?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe?
Okay, one of them is Project Octopath Traveler.
Which we knew was going to come out soon.
Mm-hmm. Because it has the placeholder image.
And honestly, in light of the demo, I could honestly say that that one would be very soon.
Yeah, that's within the next year. But yeah, that's the one thing about the Switch that's kind of bad, is that like all this that I have gotten for Christmas, that all came out this year. Like, that's the insane part. It's like, this is this year. This is all 1 year. Which is insane.
I mean, honestly, the only other big title besides ARMS that I can think of would be Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but I mean, you've got a Wii U and Mario Kart 8, so question mark?
Yeah, that was a conversation me and my mom had when we were on Best Buy, and I'm like, I'm surprised you didn't want Mario Kart. I'm like, I already own that Mario Kart. We've had this conversation.
I mean, technically you don't own that Mario Kart because the battle mode did change, but
Yeah, it's a proper battle mode now, but
outside of that, I mean, really it kind of is the same.
mm-hmm. But moving on down the list, Splatoon 2, I really enjoyed getting back in the Splatoon again. Did not really enjoy the struggle, and it wasn't really a struggle, more just the grind to get my zapper back, at least one of my zappers. Although I might be switching to dualies. I really like dualies. And I was honestly surprised at how much butt I was kicking of higher level people than me, in single digits with the base equipment.
Yeah, that's fun.
That was insane.
I didn't actually touch the multiplayer when it first came out, so by the time I actually decided to hop in the multiplayer, there was already people like pushing 20 and getting right past 20.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was very fun, just going in there with the base weapons and being like, yeah, how's that high level treating you?
Yeah, I was dealing with 40s, 50s, and 60s, so it was way worse. And I'm
Yeah,
Jesus, I'm still whipping your butts.
you entered way later, but yeah, I literally probably the first week the game was released, I didn't touch the multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and that a lot of that was I played the single player, decided I'm gonna speedrun this, and that's where I kind of sat for a while after that.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, I would like to get back into that now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. I'm also surprised that finding out the price of the Switch's online service per year.
Yeah, that is ridiculously low.
It's $20 a year if you don't know, folks. $20 a year. In comparison, Xbox Live I think is still 60.
Yep.
I don't know what PSN is.
Probably still 60.
Or PSN Plus. Yep, still 60. That is a third of the price of its competitors for the exact same content. Well, the exact same content as Xbox Live, not for PlayStation Plus, because you do get a lot of free games for PlayStation Plus.
You do for Xbox Live.
Oh, well, you don't get anything for free, as far as I know, yet. Granted, they haven't done Switch rewards yet for Nintendo rewards, which means I have a whole bunch of gold coins because I get redemption to redeem my coins since I got the cartridges.
You can redeem even for digital.
Oh, I couldn't redeem digital for Sonic Mania.
It might have just not been compatible.
All it is was a download code that I got from Best Buy.
Yeah, but I'm wanting to say there's certain games that actually isn't compatible with that.
Which is weird because every other game I have is compatible. And that includes Mario and Rabbids. Because I could get coins off all of them.
Maybe it just bugged then.
Yeah. Mario and Rabbids.
Digitals always went instant for me.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Mario and Rabbids, I can't say anything about because it's the one game out of this pile that I haven't played. Alongside Uncharted Lost Legacy, but I need to play Uncharted. I should really play Uncharted 4 and Uncharted Lost Legacy.
I'm gonna say this. I think you'll like Mario and Rabbids.
I know I will. I'm still just like, yes, I own Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. I own a Rabbids game, and I know I'm going to like it. This is still the dumbest thing in the world.
But it sold so great, and it actually is a better game than it sounds.
I know.
Like, that's what's funny. And we'll actually be kind of loosely coming back to this craziness with my quick draw at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be funny. We're going to kind of bookmark or open and close it with it.
Yeah. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I've really enjoyed it. It's weird to play a real-time RPG action, or it's not really action game, but a real-time RPG combat system that focuses more on timing. Like, to do more damage, you need to time your attacks and when you pop your special attacks properly. So you're paying attention to animation frames, like when an animation ends, so you know exactly when to pop your special attack.
Huh.
Like, it's weird how much timing is like how much the combat like makes you time everything. Like, it's insane, but I like it. Also, yeah, the lip flaps not matching up is still kind of, it bugs me, but I'm used to it now. Because this is technically the second time I've seen the entire story for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, because I watched the entire YouTube series on it. That was just all the cutscenes. So I know what I'm getting in for, but I'm still enjoying the hell out of it. And also, I've gotten into the habit of ducking out of the game every time I pass a new chapter, because guess what they do for the title screen once you complete every chapter?
What?
You get a new title screen every chapter.
Huh.
And it usually has something to do with that chapter you're on. So every time I didn't know that until someone pointed it out on Reddit when I was looking up information on the game. And I was like, damn it, now I'm going to have to exit out of the game and go back in just to see the new title screen. Because I want to see the title screen for every single chapter. And every title screen is relevant to whatever chapter you're on. Like,
That's a neat little Easter egg then.
Yeah. And you'll never know that if you're just blazing through the game. Which is such a shame. But if, like, you take a break, like, but if you exit out during chapter 3 and you go back to the title screen, you'll see, like, blurred out, because the image is out of focus, you'll see blurred out essentially the Team Rocket guys that you fight in the chapter. And you don't immediately meet them in chapter 3. So you kind of see them there and you're like, who are these people? And then you eventually meet them and they're like, these guys are idiots. They're wonderful goofs of idiots, just like Team Rocket are.
Huh.
But yeah, I've really enjoyed Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And I think I'm kind of wondering if by the time I'm done with this, if it will make me want to go back enough to Xenoblade Chronicles 1, because there are connections to 1 in this. I'm not going to say what, but there are connections to 1 in this. Hard, definitive connections that makes me actually want to go back and play 1.
Huh.
Like, okay, this is a minor spoiler, but there is literally several lines of Chronicles 1 in this game. And one of those lines is from Shulk himself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, those are hard connections in this game. And it's insane to think about the connection here and the implications of that connection. Because it throws all of it puts this whole big perspective on how both those games played out and how they parallel and divert from each other, which is kind of insane sounding. I'm like, there is a deep dive, wonderful essay you can make on the connections between these two games and how they parallel each other. Like, parallel in diverge from each other because of that implication. I'm just like, somebody should deep dive into this. Unfortunately, there's no connections to Xenoblade Chronicles X. I think it's because X is so far out from the rest of the Xeno games. Like, hell, Chronicles 2 will let you pick up KOS MOS as a blade. So it even references Xenogears. So I think that's all the Xeno games reference except X. Which is kind of neat.
It is kind of cool that they decided to do all that, though.
Mm-hmm. Also, this game looks gorgeous, and I cannot believe this is on the fucking Switch. Just like as soon as like 40 minutes into the game, when you come out to your first big open plane on one of the Titans, you should just stand there and go, this is on a Switch. And if I pull it off the dock right now, it will look just as good on there as it does on my TV. Granted, it's running at 30 FPS, and sometimes takes the dip lower than that, depending on how much is on screen, or off screen, kind of, technically. But it still looks damn good. And I am damn impressed. All of these games I'm damn impressed by. Graphically.
It's funny, even with Breath of the Wild, that was technically a port for the Switch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It still looks so much better.
But the last thing is Sonic Mania. And as someone who hasn't played a 2D Sonic in a long time, like Game Gear that long ago, because I think it was like Sonic 1.
Oh wow.
It was one of the original Sonics on Game Gear. I really enjoyed it. Although I still find the problem of, God, this game demands precognition so much sometimes. It annoys me. But I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, this and Freedom Planet makes me go, this is why people love Sonic. Like, this is why people love Sonic.
And honestly, I kind of hate Forces even more, because it does kind of tear down a really good game in the process, and it's like,
And then I look at Heroes, then I look at parts of Adventure 1, then I look at some portions of Adventure 2, and I go,
beep, 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 beep.
This is why no one likes Sonic anymore. Oh.
Yep.
This poor blue blur. Some of the stuff I actually streamed. The only thing really to talk about is Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. I don't want to play that game anymore because it's boring as shit. God, that game is boring. Like, it's not bad, it's just boring. Because
it's not bad, it's just not good.
Yeah. Like, I feel like I want to make this comparison because I was watching Bloody Biz do his level 1 Valor Form only run for Kingdom Hearts 2 for New Year's.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Let's just say he's crashed the game already from what I saw. And Winnie the Pooh, mind you. Of all places to crash the game, it was Winnie the Pooh. But I want to make that comparison of, like, I feel like this game wants me to grind. And I don't like grinding because grinding is not fun. And I got that same feeling sometimes from BBS, but mostly from 3D. And which is why I don't like those games. It's not that I don't like the command deck from those games, because I don't mind the command deck. I feel it kind of limits your play options from other Kingdom Hearts games. But meh. Like, the main problem was the abilities were behind dumb, grindy nonsense. Because I think Kingdom Hearts is at its best when you don't grind. When you are challenged to beat the thing you need to beat at the level you're supposed to be at, which is where you're going to be normally. Like, I didn't grind at all in Kingdom Hearts 2, and I had a fun time, and I still died, but I still beat everything. And I never had to grind in that game. I never had to feel like I had to beat every enemy in a hallway. But in, like, 3D and BBS, I feel like I have to beat every enemy in a hallway because I'm supposed to beat every enemy in a hallway because I need that extra experience to get whatever dumb things I need to get abilities in that game.
Huh.
Especially in 3D when not only what abilities you get, but what abilities you get to equip are tied to your stupid, dumb Dream Eater party members that do fucking nothing and are worse than Sora and Donald Donald and Goofy will ever be as party members. And don't fucking at me on that. Because they are garbage and terrible and the worst. If you don't like Donald and Goofy, fucking play 3D and tell me how your Dream Eater party members are, because they are garbage and they are not helpful. And you will beg to have Donald and Goofy back. Because you wouldn't know how many times those party members helped me in that last fuck you young Xehanort fight? 0 times they helped me. Even though one of them I think was supposed to heal me. Never healed me, I think. Donald would at least healed me once. God, I don't like 3D now. I think the Kingdom Hearts Marathon made me just not like 3D and kind of not like BBS. But it made me at least appreciate Chain of Memories, because even though it tried something vastly different, it at least did it good. But yeah, that is pretty much all I got. The only other thing I got for Christmas is a leaky, my car leaking radiator fluid and having to spend a lot of time trying to fix it. And now hopefully it's fixed and we don't have to mess with my car anymore. Thank God. Because, I kind of need that to drive around campus when I move back in like half a month.
Now, you could definitely walk.
Yeah, there's no walking even to the nearest Walmart.
Yeah.
So, shall we talk articles and stuff?
I guess we can talk articles. I don't think we need to talk releases right yet.
No.
I mean, if we get to that point, then yeah.
Well,
that's going to be a short show if we get to that part right yet.
Well, first up, we've got spoilers for the Destiny 2 second expansion. That the first one actually was disappointing for a lot of people. I think the opinion on Destiny 2 has turned very hard.
Uh-huh.
And you know what's kind of interesting? Listening to a lot of people talk about it, I know why critics praise Destiny 2, but a lot of hardcore people didn't. And I kind of see it now.
Okay.
A lot of the critics didn't play through all of the later expansions and stuff. Because, Destiny 1 got really good after Taken King, right?
Right.
None of the critics played to there or past there. You know where Destiny 2 is? It's not at the Taken King. It only has parts of what happened in that Taken King or post Taken King era, but it has a lot of the Destiny 1 base stuff still there. That's why it's still good in some areas, but worse in others. Which is why the critics are praising it, is because they didn't experience the better Destiny 1 that came later.
So basically, they're seeing it as Destiny 2 is an improvement over the first one, whereas really it's kind of a regression because they didn't take everything they learned from Destiny 1 and transfer that to Destiny 2. They only took parts of it.
Which makes this Destiny 1.5 in a lot of cases.
Right.
But to the article, we have Gods of Mars coming in March of next year. We're going to be exploring the Frigid Veil, new destination. This is going to be concealing the mysterious Clovis Grove, and Charlemagne's vault beneath its surface. We got new story missions and adventures, new themed weapons, armor, and gear, which, if they keep putting most of those new weapons and armors and gears from all these expansions and multiplayer stuff into the Eververse, you're going to lose an audience real fucking quick. Because the Eververse is the cash shop, by the way. And it's a loot box cash shop too.
Well, that just automatically, that just like gave me all of the words that I didn't want to hear and gave me the exact reason why I probably will decide not to pick it up then.
Yeah, you know how you get all of your loot and stuff in that game? The
Let me
loot
guess.
box style engrams. That
Yep.
is most of your loot half the time.
Yep, nope.
You don't actually get a weapon sometimes. Nah, you just get an engram sometimes. Or most of the time. And that's really stupid.
You know what's a good loot box system? The system that League has. Where it
I was about
doesn't
to
really matter if you get something or not. You could disenchant it and still get in-game currency for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
You can still buy the thing you want, which there's no doing that in Destiny 2, as far as I can see. There's just roll the dice until you get what you want. What if I just want a set of armor? Or a gun? We also have new cooperative activities, new competitive multiplayer arenas, and new enemy faction and bosses. Rasputin has been imprisoned within the ancient vault on Mars. You're working with Anna Bray, long thought to be dead, in order to combat Charlemagne's remnants, free Rasputin, and uncover the secrets of Clovis Brave. Bray. So yeah, we have new enemies. Yay! If it's going to be as short as Curse of Osiris was, nope. Because you want to know how short Curse of Osiris was?
how short?
I think the main story was an hour. At best. An hour
For $20.
Yes. Granted, you had all the strikes and the new raid layer and all that other stuff, but yeah, the main draw of this, yeah, $20. Yeah, 1 hour. At best, $20. You know how we were talking about how you know how we were talking about
You know, no. Bungie better get this straightened out because nope.
I'm wondering if it's not Bungie and if it's Activision Blizzard.
No.
Because Bungie has keeps having this habit of something breaks, Bungie apologizes for it and tries and goes to fix it, but then something else comes up and they apologize for it and then fix it. They never go and fix anything without being prompt to fix it.
My thing is, I don't feel like it's Activision because they saw what turned Destiny 1 around. At that point, they should have went ahead and been like, okay, you know what? We're just going to let you guys run with it. Do what you did the last time and do better. Then we get this crap. And it's like, really? Did you need someone to hold your hand? Now, I'm thinking the loot boxes, yeah, that's an Activision move.
Yeah, because as pointed out in a video I watched, it was kind of interesting to watch because it was kind of interesting look at how we got loot boxes. It is EA's fault we got loot boxes. But you know what game is at fault?
Which one?
Not FIFA, the other soccer game they did back in the PS2 days or PS3 days.
Wasn't it that Evo Sport one?
I think so. But essentially the one that had the Ultimate Team pack system,
Huh.
it's their fault. Because if you look at how much that game profited from that system and how that system is done, it's exactly how loot boxes are done, which in turn is exactly like how card games are done.
I still feel, though, they didn't do loot boxes in the first one, and they turned it around.
Mm-hmm.
Why introduce something like that now, knowing that you already have a fan base that's used to not having them? And why, on top of that, not introduce something similar to like how League of Legends did, where you can earn the keys, you can earn the chests. If you don't like what's in the chest, get rid of it for in-game currency. And wash, rinse, and repeat. Do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they need to quit thinking of this as a first-person shooter. I feel like that keeps being where the problem's coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Call of Duty, yeah, loot boxes, something like that would be fine. Throw skins in there, let it be random, whatever they get is what they get. By all means, go for that. You're going to have some sucker that decides that they want to pay money to try to get a skin. And when they don't get it the first time, they're going to try 2 and 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. It's a business.
Mm-hmm.
Something like this where you're putting equipment that you should have the privilege to be able to use because you're buying the expansions behind this same system, that's where the line's being crossed. If I'm paying, in this case, $20 for an expansion, I want to be sure I can get that stuff in-game. I might have to grind for in-game currency to get that stuff, but I should be able to get that in the game without having to pay more. That's kind of where I'm at with Destiny 2 right now. It's like, until they figure that part out, no, they're not getting my money.
We've been down this road once before. We shall not walk it once again. Oh, God. Well, I got better news. You know how ARMS doesn't really have a story to it?
It kind of does.
Well, would you like more story?
As long as it's going to be canon, then yes.
Well, coming from Dark Horse Comics, we're getting an ARMS comic. Debuting on Free Comic Book Day in a double issue with a new Legend of Korra comic, we're going to get ARMS in comic book form. Written by Ian Flynn with art from Joe Nick. Nick? Nitch? I'm not...
I don't know how you would pronounce that.
NG? Apparently, they're best known for the Overwatch comic Binary, which is a Bastion comic, actually. Story based on Nintendo's exclusive Fire Gaming ARMS. A young fighter trains tirelessly to reach the top of the ARMS League Grand Prix, but first he must defeat 599 other contenders. Will be taking place on May 5th, so we have quite a wait on this one. And we're just talking about the recent 5.0 update with the new character, which I think is the final character.
That's what we've been told.
Yeah.
I honestly can believe it, too, because the new character, Dr. Coyle, actually does have some different dialogue that Biff uses in terms of each opponent matchup. And it kind of feels like this should be the definitive character.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that was your segue into the next one, correct?
Yes, because apparently ARMS is not releasing any more content past 5.0. Which Jericho says it's too soon, which I go, meh.
Okay.
Some fighters put out way too much content after all.
Okay. Ooh, wait a minute. Reading that tells me one major thing there.
What?
They didn't read the entire thing. It said 5.0 was going to be the last major update, meaning more than likely no more characters, no more arms.
Right.
Because I believe that part was even said in it. There is still going to be balancing though.
Mm-hmm.
And anyone that knows anything will realize if you tweak one, you're going to take a chance on screwing 3 others up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be a long process before we get the definitive it's over.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of feel like that line right there about them saying it's way too soon to drop support kind of tells me they didn't read everything. They're not dropping support.
They're just dropping like major character support, which isn't this as long as the support went for Smash in terms of characters and stuff like that?
No.
Oh, Smash was longer. How long was Smash?
Can't remember for sure, but I'm wanting to say even after the first bit of amiibos were coming out, we were still getting characters.
Yeah, because we got Mewtwo not long after release. But when was Bayonetta?
Let's see here. I'm kind of curious too.
February 3rd, 2016.
Yeah, and the game was released in 2014.
Oh, well, never mind then.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Smash had far longer.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe they're cutting it short because they're refocusing the material elsewhere?
I feel like this was what we were supposed to have. Like, I honestly feel like we were supposed to just have this rapid fire push with updates and it end where it does.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at this point, maybe there's plans for another one where they kind of go in and maybe emphasize a little more story side. I mean, we are seeing the comics, so maybe that's kind of been the goal there. I don't think we'd see a second one anytime soon.
No.
And I honestly kind of feel like if we do see a second one, it'll be a ways out, and Nintendo might have learned something too. Because if you think about it, ARMS came out really close to a lot of major titles.
Yeah.
It was kind of the new kid on the block with a lot of old contenders, and that's never a good sign.
Yeah. Because I want to say they were expecting ARMS to blow up like Splatoon did.
Yeah.
And it didn't.
It just kind of thudded because it did blow up pretty good at first. But it died out as soon as Splatoon 2 came out.
Yeah, because everyone was craving Splatoon and went, oh, ARMS looks like this, but I would rather play Splatoon.
One of those. ARMS came out literally a month before Splatoon 2, so it wasn't long enough to build that drive that was needed, and I feel like that's where the issue came in. But no, I honestly kind of feel like this should be the definitive in terms of characters and arms. Like, I'm not upset with that part of it. And just because they said that this is the end of the characters doesn't necessarily mean that they're not going to add more stages or anything of that nature either. They might even add some more game modes. I mean, just because they said that they're not adding more characters does not necessarily mean all they're going to do is focus on balancing.
Mm-hmm.
One of those I feel like it might be too soon to just call it dead. Not to mention, they just started up the party crashes and are kind of rapid firing them even. That kind of tells me they've at least got some plans there. My big problem is the in-game credits. Yeah, I have all of the arms for all of the characters maxed out. And I about have enough to do it again for another character.
Well,
The badges kind of overbroke it. It used to be a grind, now it's not.
mm-hmm.
So it's like, whoops.
Well, that's pretty much all the articles we have to talk about. I mean, I could bring up the fact that we have Catherine coming to PlayStation 4, but there's a whole mess of stuff I don't want to touch because it's not really qualified to talk about that stuff. So let's not. That third character, that third romance option has stirred up a mess of just nope, I'm not touching that. I'm gonna let other people handle that are better qualified to talk about this. I mean, other than that, there was the Amazon listings, which we're supposed to get a direct, according to EA, at some point in the next couple weeks. Supposed to, according to them. According to an internal timeline for something, I forgot what. We're supposed to get a Switch Direct at some point. Which, considering we don't know any games really coming out next year for the Switch definitively.
Yeah.
Like, let me pull up the list. Yeah, with definitive release for next year, we have... Actually, we have several. This is more than I thought.
How many of them
Beta,
are indie titles?
quite a few. Beta 2 are on this list, but they're coming out in February. Attack on Titan 2. That's it. I have till March. Like end of March. And then we start getting into the quarter 1, quarter 2 releases in the straight 2018, and then the super not sure, maybe some point. I think there's also the leak for Pokemon news that maybe we're getting it next year, but I don't know. And also the talk about the region and some of the other stuff with it. We talked about this like we were playing Splatoon Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm curious, but wait and see on that one. I don't think there's really been anything else.
I don't either.
There's the one thing I have, but it's mostly for Persona. So I can not really fanboy about it because it's not that super interesting, it turns out. So that brings us to our look back at the year of 2017 for us and for the industry, because I have our list of videos pulled up. I might as well talk about some of the stuff we've done. Some of the notable stuff we've done that's actually there, because top of the first page I'm on is me playing Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn, and that's not live.
No.
Guess who started a Let's Play today for Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn?
Who?
Game Explain.
That's funny.
Yep. What's even funnier is when everyone else does a Kingdom Hearts after you do a Kingdom Hearts exact same style everyone else is doing their Kingdom Hearts marathon.
See, you just had it off on your timing there.
I did mine before anyone else. I did mine before Tom Fox started his. Way before Tom Fox started his. Way before, I don't know who else. I think Easy Allies started one after I did. Like, mine was done before E3, before we got the new trailer. I think what happened was everyone saw the new trailer and then started theirs.
Yep.
And I'm like, hello, I did it first, and I did it exactly how y'all are doing. Like, hell, Tom is going the exact route I was, because he not only did Chain of Memories, he did Riku's side of Chain of Memories as well before he went to 2.
Oh, wow.
So he's going exactly like how I went through Kingdom Hearts. But I think he's playing on all the PlayStation 4 versions of the game. Whereas I went through the PS3 collections for 1 and 2, for the first and second collections on PS3, and then the third collection on PS4. Let's see, there's TGS Sidebar that we never finished. I don't think we ever are. I don't know if I could stand to go back and complete Sidebar.
Yeah. It's been so long, I'd probably have to try to catch up before we could, anyhow. Because, like, I've forgotten enough.
Yeah.
Where I'd probably be like, I'd have to rewatch to catch up again.
Yeah. We never got to finish our watch of Double for TGSR, unfortunately. Which is a shame, but we've had a lot of changes to how we've been doing things over the course of this year.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else is notable? Going off into the February. February was a lot of just TGS and us playing a lot of League and Rocket League.
Sounds about right.
My, was it 20 days of Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah.
Which thankfully it's all actually viewable and live now. No more blocked worldwide nonsense.
No, now that's time for Breath of the Wild to get that.
Yeah. Yep. E3 coverage, which I took the time to do supercuts of all that stuff. And those are the stuff you should be seeing live on the YouTube, not the full link stuff. Unless you click the link, because those are delisted. So if you want to see the entire press conference, go ahead. But if you just want the highlights of whatever I said, good. There's supercut. Have fun. A lot of TGS Rampant Gaming stuff. You started streaming a good bit? I should probably pull up your list.
I did for a little bit there, but at a certain point, I got to where I quit doing YouTube uploads.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the stupidity of YouTube.
Yep. I actually completed RE4 not that long ago. That's like one of the few games I've ever completed, like fully completed on stream. I mean, I could count Valkyria Chronicles, but I only played like the last 2 levels on stream because I was cleaning out my backlog, and I was like, "Fuck it, let me show you how tough this boss fight is," and then steamroll his ass because I know what the fuck I'm doing. It's like, oh, this isn't really hard the second time through because I know everything I'm supposed to be. I'm expecting everything. But yeah, you were speedrunning ARMS, Sonic Mania, Splatoon 2,
Mario
you
Kart
sped
8 Deluxe.
Mario Kart. That's what I say. You did something else. Mario Kart 8. Yes, that's the one I'm
Yeah.
missing. So yeah, we did a lot of different stuff from the normal this year, which maybe that'll get to continue into next year.
It definitely should. I know I kind of fell off the speedrunning part there, but I definitely am planning on going ahead and getting everything back up and going for that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know right now if maybe I'll try to do just like some offline runs and then maybe upload them. If I do any uploading, it's going to be to Twitch, though. I do think 2018 I'm going to start doing that for at least my channel. It might not hurt if we did it on both.
Yep, and I'd have to do the one because I have a lot of the last few years backlogged across.
Well, I mean, we could
2
leave
hard
the
drives?
YouTube stuff there
Mm-hmm.
and then just start everything 2018 uploading to Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
That way, the YouTube stuff we don't have to try to go through a second time.
Yeah.
Because it's going to sit there, so why not?
Mm-hmm. I know one thing I want to do because it was something I wanted to do for this show, but then I looked at all the videos we had and how long each went. That's not happening in time.
Doing a supercut.
Pretty much just going through trying to find the highlights and the best of our year, and I just went, yeah, this is not happening. Not unless I keep track of this on like a monthly basis and do like a cut per month, and then I do a cut at the end of the year.
That would be a thought.
Yeah.
That might be a good project to do for 2018 there.
Mm-hmm. I know I have 4 articles that I want to write, but I haven't sat down and write them, and having a damn Switch and too many games to play has not helped. And a dog to take care of, because my nephew has a dog now, and, well, he has been a menace because he is a 10-month-old puppy, essentially. Even though he doesn't look like the size of a puppy, he is a damn puppy. A very not happy puppy. I think if he super wants your attention, he will gnaw at whatever he can get a hold of, no matter what it is. But yeah, all that has not helped for me to sit down and do it. And also doing the Heisei writer stuff. I'm at the point in writing those articles where I either vaguely remember the show because it's been too long since I watched it, or I probably didn't watch enough to give the best recommendation in the world. Like, Ryuki definitely falls in that category. N5's way harder than that. Like, way, way, way harder than that. I am not the best judge of 5s. And it's been way too long since I watched Hibiki, or played in Hibiki. Even though I didn't complete Hibiki, but I watched it through the staff changeover at least, so. That's the stuff to write. That I just have to sit down and write. And hopefully it might be done in the next couple months, depending on how things go. Trying to think what else. I'm hoping to stream more, like keep the streaming schedule I have at least. I think if I can keep it consistent, it'll be fine for me at least, because I just want to be consistent on streaming. Even if it's not the best, I just want to get consistent right now.
I think too, I might also try to set it up too to where I can maybe I don't know if I can, but I'm gonna see if I can't get everything set up to where maybe I can do dual streaming.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I can or not on that one.
Mm.
One of those I need to get a virtual server to where I can go ahead and have everything routed through it instead.
Yeah.
That way it's not trying to run off of mine, but yeah.
But besides us, it has been, I'd say, a pretty good year for gaming because of all of the wonderful stuff we had. Like, we got in the Switch released and had so many games come out for it this year because it was announced in January and came out in March.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's been out since March. We got the Xbox One S out in November. Games wise, let's see if I can pick out some of the better stuff we've gotten. Yakuza 0 and Resident Evil 7. Like, fucking Resident Evil 7 has really went, yeah, Resident Evil is really good now. Like, really good.
And I've been watching Ty streaming Yakuza 0, and yeah, that honestly looks like it'd be a pretty fun game.
I honestly think, like, Yakuza is one of those very underrated series. Like, Yakuza has always been good. It just never had that much attention.
It makes sense. It does seem kind of like a offshoot kind of game.
Yeah. It's a very niche game, but by God, does that niche game do really fucking good.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 2.8 came out in January, and I enjoyed 0.2 for the glorified demo it is. That's about the best thing on the 2.8 disc, because I don't like 3D. Tales of Berseria came out. That's actually a good Tales of game from what I've seen. I'm kind of interested in the Tales of franchise, but I haven't committed to any game. Like, that and Systeria are the ones that interest me, but apparently Systeria is not that good, but Berseria is really good. But I still want to kind of play both. Fire Emblem Heroes came out in February. Still playing it.
I think we both hit that one quite a bit.
Yeah.
I kind of fell off the wagon for it, but yeah.
I'm still playing it, still doing my check-ins and stuff. Like, I mostly just check in and do new content on Fire Emblem Heroes in Fate Grand Order now. And for Pokemon Go, I'll just do my, like, dailies, catch and Pokestop. But since I'm not at the college, kind of hard to do Pokemon Go when the nearest, like, Pokestop and gym are a church that I have to drive to.
Well, just go drive to it.
Unfortunately, I can't drive my car recently, so little bit of a problem there. But yeah, like, they did their New Year's thing, and I've done all the normal maps. Like, the problem is I'm so high level, the only things that can challenge me is the Lunatic level stuff. And half the time, Lunatic is garbage because the maps are not in your favor. The enemies are way too aggressive. It's not fun to do really high level stuff in that game with just whatever the fuck you want. You really have to come in with certain heroes, and I don't care enough to do that. I really don't. Let's see. Neo came out. I think it was actually a good Dark Souls-esque game for a lot of people. We had Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World. I feel like I should know Night of Azure, but I don't. Bendy and the Ink Machine satisfied all of those FPS horror game people.
And it honestly looked like it had done pretty good too. It's kind of one of those that it's fell off the radar again.
Yep. For Honor came out really good and has died off very, very, very quickly. Like, very, very, very quickly.
Yeah. Halo Wars 2.
I need to complete that. Fuck me, that's another game on the backlog. Shit.
You
I
need
have
a
Halo
backlog
Wars
stream.
That's what my streams are to start with.
You
Except
know
for
what you ought to
Resident-
do? What
Do what,
you ought to
John?
do is make like the Thursday streams just a backlog clearing, where you use like fortune cookie or something like that to pick one game and you just play it till you finish it.
I know. That's what I was doing to start with when I was trying to be consistent with streams. And what I kept finding was I kind of don't want to play the stuff on my backlog sometimes, because a lot of things I want to play on my backlog are RPG stuff that I'm either in the middle of or towards the end of.
Ah.
That's
Well,
the problem with a lot of my...
Just do John's rules. RPGs don't count.
Well, that cuts out like a quarter of my backlog then.
I'm sure it cuts out a quarter of his too.
Well, the problem still stands for a lot of my backlog is it's games that are in the middle of stuff. And I'm like, who wants to see me pick up in the middle of a game for the first time?
You would be surprised.
Because, like, okay, I can't really see my shelf. Like, there's Wonderful 101. There's SMT Cross Fire Emblem. There's... not Uncharted 4 because I haven't started that yet. There would be Persona 4 Ultimax because I have to re-get the best ending on that one. Like, the Battle Red Wars are in there now because I had to redo the save data for those. But also the problem is, since I'm at college for several months of a year, I don't have access to everything I own. So, and I'm probably not hauling my PlayStation 4 in my Switch to college. I'm probably just taking my Switch. So it's just going to be my Switch stuff there and then whatever I have on my computer. So, backlog streams are a little hard to do for me, unfortunately. Which sucks, but... anyway, Night in the Woods turned out to be a pretty good game for a lot of people. Horizon Zero Dawn turned out to be the Breath of the Wild game that people wanted before it came out. I'm actually really curious about Horizon Zero Dawn. The crap ton of Switch stuff since we get right into when the Switch came out. Super Bomberman R, I think, still doing pretty good. It's actually still getting content updates, I think. Breath of the Wild, really good game. Nier Automata. I would kind of want to play this game.
I'm gonna point out this one, but honestly, in terms of being able to understand what the whole HD Rumble thing was that we kept seeing, honestly, 1-2 Switch does a really good job on that. Because it really shows everything the Switch and the Joy-Con can actually do. And show what the potential, if developers are actually willing to use it for party games, could be.
So it's the Wii Sports.
It
That's
kind of, but it actually does a really good tech demo for it, really. Like, it is a game on its own. It is good for party settings, but it really... I feel like, personally, if it sets everything in motion for if a developer thinks that it can do something with it, look at that game and see if it's done in there. And that will give you an answer.
All right. Yeah, Nier Automata looks really good. I'm really curious about that. Mass Effect Andromeda turned out to be a super big disappointment, and it's exactly what a lot of people thought it would be. So much for being a Mass Effect fan anymore.
Didn't Ghost Recon Wildlands not do too hot either?
I don't think so.
I didn't really hear much from it.
Yeah, I think it ended up like The Division did, where It's gone super quiet for a long time. It might pick back up with content updates, but
Probably dead.
Probably. Super Mario Run came out this year, and I haven't played it at all. Most because I'm not interested in endless runners.
The last big update that it had, where it added the I forgot what they call it, but the 10 short stage setup, the remix stuff, yeah. Honestly, that was kind of the point where once I saw that and saw what they were doing with it, I'm like, yeah, the game's kind of good enough for that then. I mean, it's good for a smartphone game. I wouldn't call it good for a Mario game, but it's good for a smartphone game.
Yeah. Kingdom Hearts, the 1.5, 2.5 collections came out for PlayStation 4. I believe now that they fixed everything, it's the definitive edition of the collections. They fixed the save data stuff. I believe it's the definitive collection, the definitive editions of the collection now. Mostly because the PS3 versions never got updates, but this has. So it was a little late for me to do the marathon with them. So y'all got stuck with the PlayStation 3 versions. Walking Dead Season 3, Episode 3. Man, I have fallen off caring about anything Telltale related, to be honest.
I kind of have too.
A very, very good big game for me, Persona 5, which is, I believe, the first game I've ever platinum on PlayStation 3 or 4.
Huh.
I have platinum it. And you want to guess how long it took to platinum it?
How long?
Less than 200 hours.
Oh, wow.
About 197 hours to platinum it. That's to get every Persona, beat the game essentially twice in order to do everything, like beat all of the extra bosses, get all the trophies for everything. Like about less than 200 hours, which, knowing Gerard, he could probably put a solid 400 hours in there to do everything. Because that's just doing one love interest route and getting all the social links. That's not doing all the routes for all the love interests. That's not doing maxing out all of the Persona's levels, getting all of their moves. Oh God, I dread the day Gerard ever does a Persona game, because he's going to go way overboard in what he considers completing it. Because there's also getting all of the equipment, which I didn't do because I didn't want to, because that's grinding out a shit ton of money. Ugh. But still, Persona 5, really good. Go pick it up, people. Even though we may or may not get a Persona 5 director's cut at some point, like we've done with 3 and 4. Because 3 got FPS, 4 got Persona 4 Gold, and I wouldn't be surprised if Persona 5 gets a extra special version at some point in the future. Which means I'm playing through Persona 5 one more time! God damn it.
One more time. One more time.
Probably be like 2 more times, because I'll fucking re-platinum that shit.
Probably.
Bayonetta came out on the PC. Yooka-Laylee came out. People were kind of disappointed by it because it wasn't what people were wanting. Let's see.
There's one that I want to mention. Team Kirby Clash Deluxe. Feels like that should have been a mobile game. Just saying.
Kind of did look like a mobile game.
They missed their shot. That would have been the perfect thing to have had, because that would have been a Kirby game for mobile that they could have went ahead and done. But no, they did it on the 3DS. Good one, Nintendo. Good one.
Mhm. Guardians of the Galaxy. Super don't care. Disney Adventure Afternoon Collection reminds me of, God, there was a lot of good Disney afternoon shows. And they had decent to good NES games. Because that was DuckTales, Rescue Rangers, and Darkwing Duck is all in that collection. It's like, God damn it, there was really good stuff Disney did back in the day for cartoons. And what's weird is none of those three feature any prominent characters in the Disney pantheon, except Rescue Rangers, if you count Chip and Dale. Because, like, DuckTales has Donald in, like, the first episode, and then he's never in the series again. Unlike the new series where Donald's all the time, because
Reasons.
why not? Darkwing Duck has zero prominent characters outside of Launchpad, and that's because he's on DuckTales. And you get the really big confusion of, like, wait a minute, how does this work?
Very carefully.
Yeah. Let's see. Dragon Quest Heroes 2, which is the Dragon Quest Muso game. Puyo Puyo Tetris, which I think Ty streamed a little bit of at some point.
I'd say he has.
Sniper Ghost Warrior 3, for all those who are interested. What Remains of Edith Finch, which is a really good, like, first-person shooter, like, just walk around story game. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, for all those who missed out on Mario Kart 8 before.
Or was like me and wanted the actual battle mode.
Yep. Prey, for all those who wanted a really good, I believe that's Bethesda. Or no, that's not Bethesda, that's... Yeah, no, it's still Bethesda, published by Bethesda. I think that turned out pretty well. Minecraft came to the Switch. Yay, Minecraft is on everything. Justice 2 came out, and I think it did pretty well for itself.
Okay, I'm glad this one's here. It's actually had a couple of releases, but one of the earlier ones here, Oceanhorn. Honestly, I played a demo on... I believe I actually played it first on my phone, because it's also on mobile. Didn't really care too much for the mobile version, but the Switch one actually might kind of get me. It's kind of like a 2.5D Zelda concept. It puts you in the mindset of Wind Waker, and I'm kind of curious of if it stays that direction or if it kind of manages to expand on its own from there.
Sounds interesting enough.
It's definitely one of those that I could tell it was drawing inspiration from Wind Waker, but it was doing it in a way that it wasn't a copy-paste either. So that might honestly be one of them that I might decide to pick up, especially now that it's coming to the Switch.
Let's see here. Chroma Squad came out for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Go buy that game, people. It's really good. If you love Toku, go buy that game and play it like right now, because it is one massive love letter to Tokusatsu. Just go play it. It's really good and really fun. Fire Emblem Echoes also came out. That's another game on my backlog, and I can't stream that because that's 3DS. Why can't Switch play 3DS games?
Because it's not the 3DS successor. Nor is it the Wii U's successor. Even though I think it's kind of killed both of them effectively.
I don't think it killed the Wii U. The Wii U kind of killed itself, to be honest.
No, the Wii U was on life support. It killed it. It's just, it was almost dead. I mean, the 3DS though, it just took a gun out and shot it to the head. I mean, 3DS didn't even see it coming. The Wii U at least saw it coming.
Well, time for all the 2018 messages because it's officially 2018 for me.
Still about an hour for me.
Yep. Time zones!
Gotta love them.
Yep. Vanquish got a re-release. Friday the 13th, the game. I don't think that really took off. Granted, I'm not surprised. That and Dead by Daylight never really took off.
No.
I think it's because neither game is really that fun. It really isn't. Star Trek: The Bridge Crew came out and was like one of the few really good VR games.
Well, that's something you don't hear every day.
Yeah, it's a really good VR game, which makes it one of two that you can only get on VR. Counting stuff you can only get on VR. I mean, like, people count RE7 for VR, but I'm like, you can play that not on VR. It doesn't count. It doesn't make VR stronger as a platform. You need things you can only play on VR to make VR viable as a platform.
Oh, so like Doom FVR?
Yeah.
Which, to that, I'm gonna say just play Doom.
Yeah. Like, if it's not only on the platform, you're not giving people a reason to buy it on that platform if they can go elsewhere, especially when your VR headsets cost more than a console or a computer.
Well,
or you need a computer to run a VR headset to start with.
I honestly brought Doom up on purpose. It kind of boils down to, I remember seeing where the Doom itself on Steam was marked 60. I go to the Walmart near me and it was 20 for the physical copy. Needless to say, I got it. Because why would I pay 3 times the amount just to buy it digitally? Especially when the physical copy lets me keep it in Steam as a digital also. Just saying.
We also got Tekken 7 for all you fighting game fans. For all those who are wanting Akuma in Tekken.
And for all of those that wanted a fighting game 9 days before ARMS.
Yep.
Or, I can't count, 14 days before ARMS. I don't know where I saw 9.
Dead by Daylight. Talked about that. Final Fantasy 14 expansion Stormblood, which is still going, and still looks good if you're in the late game, because I played the early game, and I got super bored of it. It may just be that MMOs are not for me unless they hook me in with the story, and I super didn't care about the Final Fantasy 14 story. Star
Nor
Wars,
did
at
you
least,
care about the 13 story.
Super nope. No, I don't care about that mess ever.
Well, the proposed 13 story.
Yeah. Did I stream 13.2 this year, or was it last year?
I think it was... I don't remember.
I didn't see it in the list of things I streamed this past year. But yeah, for all those people who looked at me and went, no, it's impossible for me to be that confused about 13.2. I played 13. How can I be confused with playing 13.2? Start the game, see the opening sequence, and I'm just like, yeah. Do you believe me now?
See, I wasn't confused with it. I was prepared to walk in confused about it because time travel.
But like,
when you
there's
combine
time
those
travel.
two words with Square Enix, chances are that's not going to equal too good.
Chrono Trigger.
Uh-huh. That was classic Square.
Not modern Square.
Yeah. Big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Big difference. Insane
Crash.
Trilogy.
Yep, the Insane Trilogy came out for all those wanting some Crash Bandicoot. I'm not sure after I played classic Crash Bandicoot.
Is it bad that I still kind of want it, but at the same time I'm like, oh god, I sucked at Crash.
Well, I know one thing I would want, but it'd be another RPG on the list of RPGs I need to beat that I own. Not even the first Final Fantasy in this conversation. 12! In the proper good version. On PlayStation 4. What's bad is the next Digimon Cyber Sleuth game comes out in January, and I'm like, I will not have my PlayStation 4 on me when this comes out. But I know if I don't buy it and get the DLC, I'll probably get fucked out of DLC when I do get this. Fuck. Because that's what happened with original Cyber Sleuth. I got fucked out of DLC because I didn't buy the game early. Or when it came out.
That kind of sucks.
Yeah. Especially when you missed out on, like, Beelzebumon's, like, full form from the series. Let's see. Splatoon 2 came out, or Splatoon 2 came out in July. Prey came out on Windows and PlayStation 4. Or not Prey, Pyre. Is that what the game I'm thinking of? Yes, that's the game I'm thinking of that Ty played. That's really good. It's a really good sports game. Go play it, folks. It looks really good. Hellblade came out too. Everyone's surprised that looks really good and really fun. Or I wouldn't say fun, but it looks really good. Lawbreakers came out and kind of flopped. And that came from the Gears developers. That came from Epic themselves. Agents of Mayhem. Do it.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say Agents of Mayhem came from the Saints Row people and flopped as well.
The blue blur in the correct format.
Yeah, the best blue blur. And it came out the same day as Nidhogg 2. Huh. And in the best game of 2017, Night Trap.
I knew you were going to mention that.
I am the only person in the world to fight for this. Because it's so dumb.
And you
Still
know,
haven't seen.
what's funny is those two also did, as well as the re-release for Undertale. Guess which one no one ever heard about?
I know, I'm not surprised. Only I care about this game that is historically relevant.
No, I'm talking about all of that. I didn't even realize that Undertale got a re-release for the PS4 and Vita.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we literally talked about the other three.
Mm-hmm.
That one just completely went under the radar.
Well, I like that by then, like, everyone was satisfied and played through Undertale. Like, the re-release isn't going to, like, bite anybody more than it already had.
Except for, with Steam, there is still ways to, replay the game.
Mm-hmm.
With a console, that's kind of a case of, yeah, you're going to lose everything if you try to replay the game.
Mm-hmm. Uncharted Lost Legacy came out. I need to play through that. Ugh. Ark Survival Involved for all those people who want a survival game on console that a dime a dozen of them are on PC. Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle came out. Warriors All-Star, which is a Muso game with various characters from various franchises that I Meh. Life is Strange Before the Storm came out for all those people who care about Life is Strange. Resident Evil Revelations. I think that's 1 and 2 Revelations that's coming out that the Switch has now. Essentially, it is RE4 classic Resident Evil. So if you liked what I saw of Resident Evil 4, I suggest checking out Revelations because they play the exact same. Quality-wise, they may not be on par with each other, but at the very least, you're getting the same style of gameplay. Knack 2, which is everyone's game of the year, apparently. I don't understand. I don't know why people got obsessed about Knack for a while. I'm like, look, none of you
guess they
cared.
just had a knack for it.
Apparently.
By the way, that's probably why.
Yeah.
That's how memes are born.
Yeah. I was just like, where is this coming from? Because none of you gave a shit about this game when it came out on PlayStation 3. But all of a sudden, you give a shit about this game when it comes out on PlayStation 4. Okay, sure. Destiny 2 came out, and then everyone was decided months later. Monster Hunter Stories came out, and I still don't understand this game. Even if it's now out in the States, I still don't understand it. Story-based RPG, partner up with the monsters that you slaughter all the time in Monster Hunter, a RPG that also got amiibo. This game got amiibo. Dishonored DLC came out. Metroid Samus Returns came out. That might be a game in the future for me. Granted, what's probably going to happen is, I'll play Metroid Prime 4 and just hop in. It's like, I'll figure out Metroid Prime story as I go.
Please tell me you won't do that.
I will probably read up on the entirety of the Metroid Prime trilogy story and then go into Prime 4.
Okay, then thought. Because I need a reason to actually go through it myself.
I'll watch you stream it all.
Well, I was more thinking we both go through it.
Oh, well, that too. That works.
Because we can emulate it.
Yeah. Hell, we can emulate the entire trilogy.
I just don't know if I'm ready to emulate the third game. Wii motion controls.
You can map around them. Ty does it.
I just hope I can map them good enough to where I don't realize they're Wii motion controls.
That's the hard part.
Yeah, that's going to be the challenge.
Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite came out and everyone was disappointed by it. I didn't really care for what I saw, to be honest.
It's another fighting game. I mean, I know that's bad to say, but yeah.
Hang on. Doki Doki Literature Club came out in September?
Why has it took so long for everyone to start trying to pick it apart now?
I know.
Like I thought it came out last month or something.
Yeah, I was. What?
I wonder who made that hit the ground running then, because if it had been floating around that long, geez.
I'm willing to bet Marky Mark, PewDiePie, or anyone in that realm. I am willing to bet money on it. I'm willing to bet.
I mean, because of some of the things later game? No, actually, no, I take that back. No, it honestly sounds right on par for Mark. Yeah. Yeah. I doubt it was PewDiePie, though.
Okay, Jesse Cox played it 2 months ago. Jacksepticeye played it a month ago. So we have to go back 2 months. I don't know any other high tier Let's Players. And I don't think Jesse Cox is really that high tier.
I can tell you something here that's actually interesting.
What?
It wasn't Mark.
Let me guess, he played it within the last month?
He just put part 5 up 10 hours ago.
Oh, where did this... Did everyone pick this up for Halloween? I know what it is. Everyone picked it up for Halloween. Everyone was looking for a Halloween game, and it ended up being this game. Because everyone stumbled across it. I'm willing to bet that's what happened. If a major YouTuber didn't cause this, it was probably Halloween that caused it.
Hold on.
Did you find who?
I'm curious now. Because I know MatPat usually runs with that stuff for a little bit before he actually releases it. I'm wondering how far back it was when they actually played it.
You'd have to check their GT Live channel.
Yeah, I know.
I know I skimmed through their playthrough of it because I watched their episode on it. Their first video, October 31st.
So, yep. Exactly what would have happened.
Fucking MatPat, of course.
Think about it. It don't necessarily have to be him.
Mm-hmm.
What was the date you said?
October 31st.
Uh-huh. Meaning exactly what you said. Everyone stumbled upon it at the same time for Halloween. Enough people hit it at the same time that it kind of spiraled into what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because I happen to think about that. It's like, you know, that's a very valid point there, and I know he did it on his live stream channel.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, huh. But yeah, that makes sense. So weird.
Yeah.
Game sat for a month. Over a month, actually, before anyone really just kind of realized.
And that game's free, mind you.
Yeah. Of course, that goes to show what happens when you just quietly release a game.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they can just blow up and no one actually do anything to cause it.
And some people wonder why, how YouTubers get big. And I'm like, sometimes it just happens. It does. Regardless of quality. It just happens sometimes. Also, I do have a number. Have I told you the number I get to quote at people who ask me? It's like, I would like to make a living on YouTube. And I'm like, here's your money quote to see if you're comfortable with this. It's 2,000 per million views on YouTube. Approximately.
Is that before or after the adpocalypse?
That I believe that was right around. I think it's like that's the most current number I've heard, at least in the last couple months.
So at least beginning of it, then.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm like, how comfortable are you with 2,000 per million views?
Honestly, I would be more comfortable with trying to get everything up on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
Where, you know, Or by the time you get to subs, every $5 sub, you get half of that.
Uh-huh.
Like, that would be where I would be more aiming for.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, if anyone ever wants to be like, I want to make money on YouTube, it's like, how do you feel about 2,000 per million views? You got to get that million views to get that $2,000. And I guarantee you, you're not starting out at 1 million views. You're not even starting out at 500 views.
You're probably not starting out at 5 views unless you're clicking the video repeatedly.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
you are in a sea of noise, son.
One of those, everyone jumped on that train.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually one of those that you would think Twitch would be getting to that point. But I honestly feel like the gift subs are probably going to be the one thing that's going to keep that from happening.
Is it weirder to think that a lot of the people you watch are the exact same age as us?
Not really.
Because I was think Tom Fox was born in 93, which means he's 1 year older than me, I believe. I believe he said in the video he was born in 90. And I was like, fuck, that puts him 1 year older than me. Holy shit. Some of the people I watch are exactly the same age as me almost. Oh my god.
Don't really surprise me.
That puts a whole new spin on like, wow. If I had decent internet, I might have been there with them at some point if I hopped on this train. Oh well. Anyway, we also had Cuphead come out this year in Star Fox 2. Apparently, it's not the better version of Star Fox 2. Cuphead, I'm still interested in, but I don't need stress in my life. I have enough of that with college. I could use with a little less stress.
It's not that stressful. You'll only have a few controller-shaped dents in your wall.
We also got a Hat in Time, which I'm still interested in picking up at some point. Stardew Valley, maybe, but I don't think that's the game for me. Mario Luigi Superstar Saga got a re-release on 3DS with new content. Shadow of War came out, and everyone hated transactions and loot box nonsense in that game that ruined the game. So, yay. Thanks, industry, on that
game ruining.
one. Evil Within 2 came out, which apparently went over pretty well. South Park's The Fractured But Whole for all those South Park fans that are not me at all, because I don't care for South Park. Farm Warriors, Destiny 2 on PC. Assassin's Creed Origins came out, and I think people were okay with it.
Except for Odyssey kind of just overshadowed.
Yes.
I just realized that. Holy crap.
The Bubsy game that wasn't just a ripoff of another game on Steam. Literally. As Ty proved, he's like, let me boot up this game real quick and show you that this is exactly what Bubsy is. Like literally, this is Bubsy right now.
And
Wolfenstein.
I do want to mention this because it's kind of one of those odd ones that I know we'll pass over normally. But honestly, everything I'm seeing, I'd kind of be interested in picking up Monopoly for the Switch. Like, I feel like that would be an interesting take on it.
Is it the same one that's on PlayStation?
I can't guarantee on that one.
Okay.
It might be.
Let me look this up, because that's probably the exact same Monopoly I've seen the Derp Crew play. Which means it has problems.
I'm wanting to say that it is supposed to be a different one all on its own, but I can't remember what they said.
Fuck no, it isn't.
It's not.
No, this is the exact same game.
Huh.
There is nothing different here. It's the exact same game. It might have some Joy-Con motion stuff built into it. But no, this is the exact same game that's on PlayStation 4 right now. And probably Xbox One. And probably still has all the problems. There apparently it has network issues.
Oh, so if you were doing online, then it would be an issue.
Yes.
To be fair, though, I have this unnatural kind of like of the game. So I would probably still play against the computer.
I mean, it looks like a good game. It's just it has networking issues with the players, so I know the Derp Crews ran into problems with that when they've done it. But honestly, if you want to see how a game of that turns out, just go look at Tom Fox's channel, and he has his Monopoly games with the rest of the Derp Crew on there. Several Monopoly games with them on that, not that Switch version, but I believe the PlayStation 4 version of it. Moving on, we've got Call of Duty World War II came out, and watching somebody's deep dive into why Call of Duty has not been good recently in terms of the single player, it makes sense now. Because he pointed out how so much of the Call of Duty single player, like in the first level of World War II, you're just not in control of. You're playing quick time events or stuck in a cutscene. You're not playing the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, wow, that actually makes a lot of sense of why I don't really care for this. It also doesn't help that the story is just like, meh. It's like, you're an asshole because you're an asshole. Also, hi, guy from Transformers. Dot Hat GU Last Recode came out. I encourage everyone to give that a shot if you're interested in the Dot Hat franchise. Need for Speed Payback came out and got ruined by loot boxes.
Yay, loot boxes.
LA got re-released on Switch, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon came out and weren't spectacularly different, but I don't know what anyone was expecting. Star Wars Battlefront 2 came out and literally has caused loot boxes to be investigated by governments. Bravo, EA. Bravo. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Dead Rising 4. Frank's Big Package. Is that? I wonder if that's the actual story expansion, the Dead Rising 4, or it's something else that's coming out before. I'm gonna say that is it. Yeah, I'm gonna say that's it.
Yeah, I think that is.
So yeah, we had a lot of good games this year.
Unless you want to look at our unscheduled releases that should come out before 29 minutes ago.
Yeah. Or dig through our release lists. Which, now that I think about it, I should have just done that. Just opened up 20 million tabs of all the releases, because I believe I have releases for the entire year.
Yeah, we should. We would have had like 26 tabs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no joke.
Let's see. Before I started putting them in the releases, I think they were still in here. Yes, they were.
Oop. Forgot to do something. Yeah, but how far back did we have?
It at least goes to somewhere last year.
Yeah. Like I'm seeing the beginning of this year all the way up.
It went back. I've documented as far back as 2015 on the site. Oh boy, God, we've been doing this so long. I just keep getting reminded of like, yeah, you've been doing this for several years now. I'm just like, by God, I have. Jesus.
By the way, 24 tabs if we open everything, including this week's releases list.
You mean this week's releases of all 3, 4, 5, 6 games?
7.
7? Is it 7?
7.
3, 6. Yep, 7. Okay. 7 games, folks. 7 games.
And you know what? I'll just put that up there right now because you know what? Screw it.
Speaking of releases,
7 games. We can see the top and the bottom of the list without me moving the page.
Yep.
This is like the first time ever.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because you cut out a lot of the PC stuff.
Yeah, because I'm not putting on
shovelware.
all of. Yeah, no. I'm picking and choosing that nonsense. And you know what? Sometimes there's not any funny stuff there. Otherwise, yeah, you'd have to scroll because the PC would literally outnumber every single console and portable release because I check all of it.
Well, I don't think that beating 7 is too much of a task. They probably can do that on just what's going to come out today.
Yep. So, coming out on the 3rd, we've got Outbreak, the new nightmare for Xbox One, Pixapick Pixapick Deluxe for the Switch, and Stickbold, a dodgeball adventure deluxe for Switch. And on the 10th, we got Albert and Otto, The Adventure Begins for Xbox One, and on the 11th, we have Furry for Switch, Of Malice and Sand Revised for Switch, and The Escapist 2 for Switch. And that's it, folks. That's all we got.
That's all we got. That's all you're getting. Yep.
Go play the things you got for Christmas. So that'll bring us to quick draws, and mine is a little happy and a little sad all at once. Because you know that Persona 5 and Persona 3 dancing games we're getting?
Yeah.
Well, we got new information on them when we got a stream announcing, talking about that and the Persona 5 anime that's coming next year. I think it's like May or something. We're gonna start getting that. Apparently, both the games are being developed simultaneously. The partner dances are going to have unique choreography depending on the characters there. So each character will be distinct no matter what. The main thing from all this, and I don't think it's mentioned here, is that there is no story mode for these games. There'll be something focusing on character relationships, but there's no proper story mode like Persona 4 Dancing All Night got, which is a little sad. And makes me super less interested in this than I was Persona 4 Dancing All Night. Which, apparently, if you pick up the collector's edition of this that gives you both games, you're also getting the re-release of Persona 4 Dancing All Night on PlayStation 4. That I think so far is only available in the collector's edition.
Huh.
And there are plans for DLC, but meh. It'll be cool to get like remixes of 5 and 3 songs in there, but I'm not interested if we're not getting a story mode with characters and stuff. But meh. Oh well. If I really want story mode, I'll pay attention to like one of the like 7 different like website registries that Atlas has for Persona related content that don't have anything attached to them yet. Because one of them hints at a release of 1, 2, and 3.
Oh wow.
And in the Persona 5 data files, there is the lobby of the dorm in Persona 3 completely modeled. It's just like, okay, you remodeled the entire lobby in Persona 3 for what reason? To test out stuff for Persona 5? Because here's the thing to keep in mind about these dancing games. You see that image right there of the game?
Uh-huh.
That's the Persona 5 engine. That's the exact same engine Persona 5 is running on right now. Meaning all of those models of all the main characters of Persona 3 that are dancing and doing all this stuff, yeah, they can easily just reuse those for Persona 3 for a remake of Persona 3 in the Persona 5 engine. Because all of those locations you've seen, those are also locations from the game. Which is going to be the same for Persona 5, because those locations are probably the exact same locations that exist in Persona 5 right now.
Well then.
Yeah, so all this wonderful stuff is just like, are you gonna remake Persona 3 for like, because that would give me a super big reason to like push to complete Persona 3 then. Because I would either pick up where I left off on Persona 3 FES on my copy right now, or I might just start from scratch with this one and just go with the gameplay improvements. Because I'd be okay with starting from scratch if you got a complete swath of gameplay improvements. Like, being able to control my party will be a godsend. Because I can't in Persona 3. Unless I pick up the PlayStation Portable version, and no. I'm not playing a lesser version of Persona 3. Just to get control of my party. I'll roll the dice. But there's that. There's Persona Q2 that's coming, which means I should probably complete Persona Q at some point. But there's that coming at some point in the near future. Considering we're getting an anime, and the last time we got an anime was for Persona 4, and after it ended, we got Persona 4 Golden. It's very possible we're going to get a Persona 5 something or another that will be a director's cut of the game with more content and stuff. Who knows? But yeah, there's reasons to be excited for a Persona fan. Unfortunately, these dancing games aren't it. But the implications of these dancing games are what you should be excited about, I feel like. And I should really thank, is it Mystic? I don't think it's Mystic. I think it's somebody else I follow. No, it's Mystic, I think, who's pointed this out all out on Twitter. Yeah, at Mystic Distance, I believe, is one of the couple of people I follow on Persona News. And they pointed out, it's like, yeah, this is what's going on here. That's it for me. Tommy, what is yours?
Well, give me just a second here, because mine is actually something that I didn't realize until the other day. But apparently the creative director for Mario and Rabbids also had pitched a idea of a GBA version of the Wind Waker. Granted, all we've got is the one screenshot, and the idea never wound up making it even to the demo point. But honestly, looking at it, it kind of feels like this might have been where some of the inspiration for Minish Cap might have came in from. Because it definitely looks like it easily could transition between the two. And I don't know. I'm kind of at a mixed opinion on it. Because I could see a 2D Zelda in the format of Wind Waker working. But at the same time, I also have to question how we would set that in place. Would it
Mhm.
just be a porting of Wind Waker dumbed down for the GBA, or would it have actually been a side story, so to say? Like, that would have been my bigger concern with it, because we do have direct sequels.
Mhm.
Looking at it now, it's like, this looks like a cool idea. I can kind of see why they ditched it.
Mhm.
But yeah, that
Yeah.
was one of those that especially when I saw it didn't have a demo, I was like, that kind of bites.
Yeah. It does put a whole new perspective on when they were pitching Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. When they brought Miyamoto in to see the project, they were showing Mario walking around, and he's like, "Do you guys?" It's like the Mario they were showing off was something they built from the ground up, and Miyamoto could not tell the difference. He thought, "Oh yeah, we gave you this, right?" And like, "No, we made this ourselves."
And you could tell that's what's happened here too.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's also kind of cool. Seeing that this came to life too, it's like they've done this more than once. And it
Mm-hmm.
kind of makes you wonder what other ideas they've pitched that Nintendo's not really jumped on board with.
Sounds like a thing Unseen 64, I think, should investigate, because they went into a lot of stuff. You followed them at all?
I don't think I have.
They've covered a lot of the Factor 4 stuff. Let's see. Let me pull up their playlist. Because before we got Kid Icarus Uprising, they were pitching a a more mature Kid Icarus game, like a more adult Kid Icarus game. I believe it was done by Factor 5. An Avengers game we were supposed to get when the movie came out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like a first-person action game for Avengers, the movie. A canceled Daredevil game, canceled Star Wars games, the Tron sequel game we never got. Factor 5 Superman game. I think also their Justice League game. I think was it Factor 5? I don't think it's Factor 5. It was somebody else. But somebody else was working on a Justice League game, and they didn't get to it was almost complete before it got squashed.
That kind of stinks on that part.
Yep.
Yeah,
Double Helix are the one that did the Justice League game. Do what?
but yeah, that was definitely one of those that I saw that and I was like, dang. Because that probably would have turned out pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's Unseen 64, which is under Did You Know Gaming YouTube, has kind of opened my eyes to like, there are some games we have never gotten to hear about that were in development. Because it's like, I know a lot about the Battlefront 3 we were supposed to get until Pandemic was shut down by EA. Bunch of dicks right there, I tell you what. But I'm like, they're like, Battlefront 3 is just one of several games that were in development, almost complete, and then canceled at the last minute and never got to see the light of day. It's like, it's like, it's so informative yet sad to hear about this kind of stuff. Because then you have to be like, oh, what if this did get greenlit? Blech. Words, they're really hard, especially at almost 1 o'clock in the morning. But I guess that's gonna be pretty much it for the show. We
Yeah.
don't have build to talk about.
Yeah.
Ruby, on the other hand,
I ain't seen it yet.
oh, Be forewarned, there is a cliffhanger. And no, fuck this cliffhanger.
There's been cliffhangers a lot here recently.
This is the most cliffhanger of cliffhangers they've ever fucking done. Especially with the parallels involved in this cliffhanger. Like, oh fuck, can this next week's episode come any faster? Because we need some resolution, because I think the internet's about to lose their goddamn shit over this. But we got Build Next and start next week again. Yay.
Yay.
I can't wait for Key Ranger to be over so I can get into Lupin Ranger, Pata Ranger, and hope to God it's good. Because I need a good Sentai show. Because I'm almost out of Shinkenger episodes to watch. I am down to 7, 8, 9. I'm down to 9, and I think I'm down to less, actually. I might be down to less, because I might have not deleted all the episodes I watched. So I might be down to less than that to watch for Shinkenger right now. That is how fast I've burned through my rewatch of the show. Which, again, is still a really good show. I encourage anyone to watch it. If you need a good Sentai show, if you're not watching Q Ranger because you don't like Lucky or any other aspect of the show. Like, go watch that. Go watch Go Kaiser. Go watch Kyoryuger again. Those are all good shows. Hell, I think Ghostbusters is even good. Yeah, Ghostbusters. I almost said Ghostbusters, but no Ghostbusters. It's good. Even though some people don't like Go Kaiser now because of all the cameos, but I'm like, Go Kaiser I think is still good. It still has good character development. I don't know why so many people hate Go Kaiser right now. Like, I don't think it's the best, but it's still good.
No telling.
Yeah. Anyway, got anything else to add?
No, I don't think I do.
All right. Well, we'll be back in 2 weeks with brand new start of the year new stuff. Maybe the Switch Direct. Probably not. Who knows? And who knows what else shall happen in the industry going forward. Always something surprising to talk about sometimes. But I'll be back Tuesday with something. I don't know. Maybe Breath of the Wild. Who knows? Depends on whatever I'm in the mood for.
And I will probably be back on my channel later today/tomorrow, depending on what time zone you're in. And I'm probably going to get back into ARMS speedrunning. I think I'm going to do that first.
I may or may not sit down and knock out Metro Kingdom after we get done streaming. Because I only have like 5 more moons to get before I'm out of Metro, and I'm just like, I might as well go through and see how fast see how far it takes me, how long it takes me to get to Bowser and Moon, since I know that's only so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, we will see you then, folks.